Please remember to subscribe if you would like to see more of this video and make this channel grow. That would help me out a lot. Thank you very much. And if you end up liking this video, why not show your support? Give it a like and some comments down below, and yeah, let's have a discussion. So, McLaren, Lando Norris. So Lando Norris won the 2025 World Driver Championship. He is now a one-time champion of the world. That is crazy. We predicted that, or some of us did, predicted that a long time ago, that he has the speed and the talent to become a world champion. Now, there are many drivers out there that also have the talent to become a world champion, but this year was Lando's year, and I'm not gonna lie. Was Lando my favorite for winning the driver's title? To be honest, I didn't really care who was gonna win. I just wanted Lando to keep his word and not bottle this one. This guy has been getting so much slack. Now, of course, he's been making mistakes left, right, and center, all over the place. But it's not like Lewis Hamilton was perfect at starts. Mainly that's where his mistakes are. But he did make mistakes on other parts, and also by not being that aggressive of a driver. But here's the thing. When you look at Lewis Hamilton's old races, even he was not an overly aggressive driver, unlike Max. So, yeah. But it feels as well like Lewis Hamilton had better wheel-to-wheel action than Lando. But whatever. This year, honestly, I'm not going to lie, was kind of... it was kind of boring in terms of the title fight. It was nice that McLaren had a quick car, but it's really Max Verstappen who made it somewhat interesting. Otherwise, it was quite boring. They basically ran away with the win. Oh yeah, by the way, this is a rant. I'm in my car. This is a rant in my car on my way back home from work. So there's that. But so McLaren built a rocket ship. I didn't really care who won this year, but Max Verstappen is what made it interesting. Lando Norris definitely deserves this win. Now, the thing is, why I am happy that he won still, even though he is not my favorite driver. I'm a fan of multiple drivers, but Lando Norris, let's begin with him. In the beginning, oh no, it was last year, I think, or maybe the beginning of this year, he said that Max Verstappen won this year, and it won in 2024, and that was his year, but next year will be his because he finished second place. And he is also the driver that brought McLaren their drivers, their not drivers, but their constructors championship in 2024. But yeah, Lando Norris said that next year is going to be his year. I don't know if any of you guys remember that, but I remember that super vividly. And when he said that, I said to myself, as if I was talking to Lando, you better be speaking the truth. Otherwise, you'd be eating your words. That'll be another thing to bottle. The guy says things that he shouldn't say many times. And honestly, I don't have a problem with that. Some people do. I don't really say just because of his age. Sure, he's young, but, you know, Lando Norris is, in a sense, quote-unquote, unapologetically himself. He says stupid things, and it's not like we only said smart things in our lives. We've also said stupid things. And this is one thing that I like about Lando. He doesn't sound perfectly PR trained or, you know, trying to play favorite as much. He says what he thinks in the moment, even if he might regret it in the future. And I respect that, because that means that whenever Lando speaks, a lot of times you're really getting Lando. You're not getting a very filtered version of himself. Now, I'm sure he's still filtering some words and some things that, you know, that he says. But it's like him and Max Verstappen, who else? I don't know what other driver. Oh, Fernando Alonso. They're the types of drivers that really just say sometimes what just comes up to their mind. They don't care who they may offend. Fernando Alonso and Max Verstappen, they kind of have their ground to stand on because, you know, they won multiple drivers' championships and whatnot, and they've proven that they are very skilled at what they do, that they know what they're doing. But now Lando Norris has a championship on his hands as well to prove that although he may not say the right things at times, although he may sound a bit stupid, At least he knew, I am quick enough to become a World Drivers' Championship champion. Like when he said that Max Verstappen is born into racing, I mean, that's not far off the truth. It is a bit kind of like, Lando, that's not a valid excuse, but that's what he was thinking in the time. He started later, not by much, not by many years, but later than Max. I don't know, we don't know how many times he was on the track in comparison to Max in the early years and all that stuff. But Lando Norris understands that he is not the greatest in the world. He is one of the greatest, but not the greatest. And that's what he thinks. And that's fair. But without going too much into what Lando thinks and all that stuff, let's move on to the drivers that I like. Because although I am very happy that Lando Norris is now world champion, this was definitely his year. And although if you really look into it, you'll notice that this guy had a lot of misfortunes. Some of them were his fault. The others was just luck and either the team's fault. And it's fascinating that this guy not only won less races than Max, but his consistency was enough for him to secure the championship way before even Qatar. If it wasn't for the DNF in Zandvoort, if it wasn't for I mean, that would just be 1 point difference. But the hit from Hulkenberg that sent Piastri flying into Norris and whatnot, basically DNFing both of them. And if it wasn't for his disqualification in Vegas, he would have already been world champion a long time ago. Now, he did definitely cause some of the challenges by not being very quick in Baku and a few other races that I can't really think off the top of my head. But he still won. And all that matters is that he won. And honestly, wow. Now, obviously, the decision to not give him a time penalty versus Tsunoda when he basically overtook off track, I'd say it's a racing incident, plain and simple. Nobody really deserved a penalty. Norris was coming very fast in the back of Tsunoda. Tsunoda did not need to close that door that heavily like that. Lando Norris was going to overtake him regardless. So it's not like him willingly going. I would say it's more of illegal to skip a turn or extend a track than to overtake somebody off track on a straight. Because it's kind of like you're on a straight and you're also going faster than the guy. You were going to overtake them, but, you know, whatever. Now, that doesn't mean that driver should overtake off the track on a straight, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. But yeah, that's a racing incident. But even if he had a time penalty, Lando Norris easily had the pace to gap Charles Leclerc by over 5 seconds if he wanted to. Because even post-race and whatnot, we saw he barely fought Piastri on the first lap. He was just like, I know how fast I can go, but I don't want to push the car. I'm pretty sure he was hoping the car doesn't try to, the engine doesn't try to explode. And also he didn't want to push the tires too much, which, you know, could make the rear unstable. So he was just like, I'm just going to keep going at a regular pace because there's no way people thought, oh, is Ferrari fast in Abu Dhabi? No. I'm just going to be honest. No, Ferrari is not fast in Abu Dhabi. They were just, Charles Leclerc was pushing like crazy, while Lando Norris was most likely just pushing a little bit. But anyways, that's enough of that. I went too long. Let's talk about my favorite drivers, because I said that Lando Norris is not my favorite driver. In fact, I don't have a favorite driver per se, but I'm definitely a fan of Lando Norris. But I'm also a fan of Charles Leclerc, and I'm a fan of Lewis Hamilton, and a fan of Max Verstappen. I want Lewis Hamilton to have a successful career and even an 8th title with Ferrari. But at the same time, I would like Charles Leclerc to at least, you know, fight. It would be so nice to have 3-4 drivers on a title fight. That would be insane for 2026. But chances are we're most likely not going to have that. Maybe it's going to be 2 teams, but, you know, just 2 drivers again, as per usual. 2022 had an exciting start, but Ferrari decided to be Ferrari and completely screwed themselves over. I don't understand. And even when Mattia said that, oh, Ferrari is not Ferrari. He said that 2022 is not our year. It's not what we're focusing on. I was like, what are you talking about? This made no sense when I heard him say that, because you have a car that is quick. You have a car that could even be even faster. But instead you decide to be, let's be real, losers and say, oh, we're not aiming to win this year. You're aiming to win when? Because Mercedes was aiming to win in 2022. Red Bull was aiming to win. You're not midfield team. So I don't understand what that logic was or those words that came out of his mouth. But yeah, but because the year is now over and we're going into 2026, we're not going to see those cars anymore. And I still have the VRC mod and so on. And I want to, give them a good fair shot in Assetto Corsa. So because of this, with McLaren winning the Constructors' Championship and McLaren being my favorite team of 2024 and 2025, I prefer them in comparison to the Red Bull. The Red Bull in 23, wow, that was crazy. But I am so happy that McLaren won, even though we're not, I just like McLaren in general. But yeah, I'm glad that they won. And because that they won, and then Lando Norris won and did not eat his words when he said that 2025 is going to be his year, he actually stood true to that, which is honestly pretty sick. I'm not going to lie. It's like he knew what McLaren was cooking up, and he's like, yeah, no, these guys are going to be quick. We're going to be quick. Sucks for Piastri, but yeah. Because of that, I've decided with the Apex GP team, the VRC car, I'm not going to use the McLaren livery because the car doesn't look like the McLaren, and I'm not driving a McLaren, but I'm going to give myself this challenge. I was thinking this. Now, I am not a seasoned sim racer, as per se. I am not an esports racer. I am fairly average. I still work, I can't do this YouTube thing full time, and I can't be on my sim rig every single day at every single waking hour. But at least I want to give myself this challenge every day, and we'll see if I can keep it up. It's going to be tough. But I want to look back. In fact, I want to look back all the way back in 2024. Now, I don't know which way I should go about it, if I should try 2024 first and then go to 2025. But I think I will just try 2024 because I have both mods, and I kind of want to do both. So what we're going to do with the inspiration of Tom97's videos, I'm going to try to see if I can beat the pole lap that was set in 2024 and in 2025 with the VRC car. For the 2024 one, I don't know which livery I'm going to use yet. Maybe I'm going to still take the Apex GP as if they were racing in 2024. I'm going to pretend that, that this is the lap that I could set, because I know for a fact that if I were to actually attempt it seriously, some tracks would probably take me hours to actually try to beat that time. So I'm going to set this challenge for myself. I will have one or two practice, depending on the track, depending on how I feel. I'm going to time myself for 1 hour of practice session, and then, or maybe, 2 practice sessions, 1 hour. And then from there, we're going to move on to qualifying, and whatever qualifying format was used during that time, according to the tire choice and also the weather and all that stuff, I'm going to try to qualify. So that means I'm going to have to go through to Q1. And if I can set a lap time that can set me up to Q2, then I can make it to Q2, so on and so forth, until I try to see if I can beat the pole lap. If it's a sprint qualifying, then I'm not going to include the sprint qualifying. I'm just going to include the Grand Prix qualifying. But if it turns out that the sprint qualifying has a quicker time than the Grand Prix qualifying, I will try to make a lap that is at least quick from there, and we'll see. We'll go from there. But then other than that, there will also be some videos that I will do that I will actually just show off a lap time that, if I can, beat the pole lap. So yeah, that's the challenge that I'm gonna give myself. And yeah, maybe I might try again as well in F124 and F125. Oh gosh, I don't know about that yet. Right now we're with the Assetto Corsa, but there's also this that I want to do. I want to look back into the previous F1 games trying to do it before the update of F126. Well, F125 turning into F126 basically. So I'm going to try to do that we'll see how that turns out, because I have no idea how good it's going to be or how well it's going to be. But I'm going to try to output these as quickly as possible, meaning to make the challenge even more difficult and to also be able to conclude this challenge in a timely manner. There will be 0 restarts. That's actually rule number 1. I will follow the format that the drivers follow. Now, granted, I will have the right to do some quote-unquote simulation testing. So, drive around the track with the car, with various setups and whatnot, just to get an idea. So like this, when I jump into practice, I'm not jumping into it completely blind, because that's not even what the drivers are doing with the teams at the right now. They're coming into it with some knowledge of what to do and how to begin their weekend. So challenge number 1, no, not challenge number 1. The first rule is following the format that the drivers are doing in real life. Rule number 2, 0 restarts in any of the sessions. That means in practice session, if I crash the car, that's it. My practice is over. If I have 2 practice sessions, sure, we can rebuild the car and then I get another shot at trying to get comfortable. If I crash during qualifying, that's it. I did not manage to beat the times. So that puts pressure on me. And with that would allow me also to revisit the older F1 games. And I will have the same rules. 0 restarts on those. 0 pauses. Once I'm in the session, I'm in the session, and I'm driving, and I'm doing what I can. And we're going to do that at semi-difficulty. When I first started on some of the old games, I was playing at 100 AI. I'm not going to put in the full alien mode, 110 AI. I'll put right in the middle, 105 AI in all of the games. No matter how faster I am or slower I am than the AI, we're just going to do that and basically re-review the games before, well, we're going to try to do it before F1 26 and before the new season. I don't have many days to do that. So that means there's going to be a lot of uploads. Maybe every day, maybe not every day. Maybe some of them are going to be a bulk upload if I'm DNF on some sessions and I have to move to the next. But yeah, those videos are going to be fairly raw and the editing is going to have to vary a little. So yeah, you're going to see quite a decent amount. I'm not even going to bother asking if you would like to see that, because we don't got a big enough following. But in the looks of 2026, let's try and grow this channel. So subscribe if you would like to see some more of that, some of that, or whatever. Give it a like to show your support. And let's really see how I do. Oh, this is going to be interesting. But yeah, that was basically this rant video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the first upload of the Trying to Beat the Pole Lap, and also reviewing the season. We're going to begin in 2024. McLaren's first constructors title in this generation of the turbo hybrid era. So yeah, see you guys then.